This poem is called Substitute. Bit of an odd title for a poem, you might think, but in my long performance career I have been a substitute for fellow poets many occasions, most notably John Cooper Clarke, Linda Kwesi Johnson, and recently Jason from the Sleaford Mods. They didn't turn up, I did a set instead. And that got me thinking about being a substitute generally in all kinds of areas, especially football. And one of my few regrets in life is that I was always really rubbish at football, so I'd never even get to be a substitute. This is dedicated to 3 triple-barreled inspirations: the aforementioned John Cooper Clarke and Linda Kwesi Johnson, and Craig McHale-Smith, who plays up front for Brighton and Hove Albion and is the hardest working footballer I've ever seen in my life. Substitute. Saturday evening, Evening Star. Had a lot of beer, didn't have to walk far. Round to the Albert to see Sleaford Mods. 2 really sharp, really sussed, really shouty sods. Up to the bar, got another pint of beer. Pissed off promoter. Jason's not here. Crashed out in London on a settee. Crowd came for Jason, they got me. Filled in for Linton, filled in for Clarkey. Filled in at Gloucester where they hunted for a Sparky. Filled in for Donny Osmond, and that's not a myth, but I'll never be a sub for Craig McHale-Smith. No, I'll never be a sub for Craig McHale-Smith. Swindon Town Hall didn't go to plan. I was the support act, waiting for the man, just like the Velvets, waiting for the man. Waiting for the man. Man didn't show, to everyone's regret. Promoter says, want to do another set? Crowd came for Linton, got 2 sets from me. All's well that ends well. I got his fee. Filled in for Linton, filled in for Clarkey, filled in at Gloucester where they hunted for a Sparky, filled in for Donny Osmond, and that's not a myth, but I'll never be a sub for Craig McHale-Smith. No, I'll never be a sub for Craig McHale-Smith. These days it gives me enormous pleasure that the great Johnny Clarke is a national treasure, but there was a time when things were iffy. He could turn up, let's say a bit squiffy. One night he never even turned up at all. Hapless promoter gave me a call. He's not here, Attila, want to come and do a set? Jumped in a cab with a quick you bet. Filled in for Linton, filled in for Clarkey, filled in at Gloucester where they hunted for a Sparky, filled in for Donny Osmond, and that's not a myth, but I'll never be a sub for Craig McHale-Smith. No, I'll never be a sub for Craig McHale-Smith. Late 1980s Glastonbury, disaster in the cabaret marquee, PA out of action, generator broke. I'll do a set, I'm a really shouty bloke. 1,000 people, great big tent, meant what I said what I meant. Generator mended, on with the show, standing ovation for giving it a go. Filled in for Linton, filled in for Clarkey, filled in at Gloucester where they hunted for a Sparky, filled in for Donny Osmond, and that's not a myth, but I'll never be a sub for Craig McHale-Smith. No, I'll never be a sub for Craig McHale-Smith. Donny Osmond was booked to play the marquee. Too scared to fly, so they asked me, 1 day's notice. Come on, Attila, fill in for Donny, it'll be a real thriller. Now, it's never been in my plans to do a gig for Donny Osmond fans, though most were quickly out the door. The rest really liked it. I got an encore, filled in for Linton, filled in for Clarkey, filled in at Gloucester where they hunted for a Sparky, filled in for Donny Osmond, and that's not a myth, but I'll never be a sub for Craig McHale-Smith. No, I'll never be a sub for Craig McHale-Smith. I'm shit at football. And not just a bit. Really shit. Worse than a donkey. Can't control the ball, can't head, can't pass, can't shoot, bugger all. All my life I've thought it a shame I'm useless at my favourite game. Try as I might, I've 2 left feet. Too old now, so my fate's complete. Filled in for Linton, filled in for Clarkey, filled in at Gloucester where they hunted for a Sparky, filled in for Donny Osmond, and that's not a myth, but I'll never be a sub for Craig McHale-Smith. No, I'll never be a sub for Craig McHale-Smith. I'll tell you now, without being guessy, if I filled in for CMS, things will get Lionel Messi.